Okay, good morning everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Italian Vegan. As you know, I am Luca Bernardini, and today I've got a treat for you. But before we go ahead, as usual, please let me know if you can see me and hear me. We shouldn't have any trouble with internet.
Is it spotlight for everyone? Sorry, I've lost the...
Spotlight for everyone, please.
Yeah.
Is that done?
I think so, yeah. Yes, we're back.
Okay, can you just let me know either by writing in the chat box or by unmuting yourself and letting me know out loud.
Right.
Let me just turn the volume on just in case you unmute yourself.
Okay, Deborah says all is good. Good morning.
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. Good morning, Deborah, by the way, and good morning, everybody else.
And Catherine says good morning to you all. Yes, can hear.
Fantastic. Okay, that's what I like. That's what I like to hear. What I was saying before is that today I've really got a treat on for you, or at least it's more like a personal treat for myself. This brings me back to my school days, to my early school days, and this was a dish that my mum used to do quite often, and it was one of my favorites. Both my brother and I used to fight over it, and she could never prepare enough because whatever was on the plate would disappear in a matter of minutes. So I think my record is eating 17 of these. Okay, just to make you understand how Moorish they can be. So I'm going to prepare them in a couple of different fillings today, 2 or 3 different fillings. Literally something where you can use your own taste and your own fillings. So once you've learned how they're done, you can pretty much fill them with whatever you like.
Okay, Devika has just joined.
Good morning, Devika, as well. Before we start the cooking and the class, I also want to thank you again for those of you who contributed to Buy One Give One. I don't know if I've told you before, but both for Katrina and I, one of our real most important drivers and purpose is education. So often we do our giving is in the education arena. So this week we are continuing with the same cause that we gave to last week, and we're given 300 bricks this week thanks to your donations to build schools in rural Cambodia. As I said before, I repeat myself. I already said it last week, but very little money goes from the central government to the rural parts of Cambodia. So often schools are either in open air completely, or they got very badly put together buildings. They are almost kind of like a danger to the students rather than a place of safety. So by contributing proper bricks, they'll be able to build solid rooms to actually teach the children. So thank you again. Okay, so let me go through the things that you will need today to cook. So first of all, the ingredients.
Excuse me.
We will need some flour. I'm using white strong bread flour, but you can use them if you want. If you want to be healthy, you can use wholemeal flour. I know that wholemeal flour is a much better option, but kind of like I've got that. My taste buds actually prefer white flour. So although I try to mix a little bit of wholemeal flour here and there, this one of my vices is to use white flour. Okay, so white flour. We will need some other soy milk, rice milk, or I'm using oat milk. So a little bit of that, a little bit of margarine. This is to make the dough. Then we will need for the coating. We'll need some water again. We need to mix some breadcrumbs, and corn flour. And then again for the batter we'll need some more flour. We'll use some sparkling water, but it's fine if you don't have it. You can just use cold water, and then and a little bit of turmeric powder. Okay. And for the filling, I'm going to do two different ones. I'm going to do spinach and cheese filling. And then we're going to do a sun-dried tomatoes. Sun-dried tomatoes. I'm using these from Sainsbury's. They look, I haven't opened them yet, but they look really nice. So they're in olive oil. So I'll be using all the olive oil in there. I'm not throwing anything away. And some capers. And spinach and garlic. And so I'm going to do one with spinach and garlic, one with sun-dried tomatoes, and one with both of them. And obviously on that's the main filling, and then I'll be adding cheese, the vegan cheese. So this is the one I use generally. You can use one that's already in slice like this one, or a block like this, and I'll be slicing it thinly so that it melts nicely. Okay, but the ideal one would be a very highly melting cheese like Mozzarisella. I know that is very difficult to find. You only find it in some health shops, or if you order it directly online. But it's a vegan cheese made from rice shoots, and it's really, really nice, and it melts really, really nicely. Okay, so let's start the process then. First of all, we get a saucepan, and we'll weigh and the scales. Okay, wait a minute. And we put 100 ml of milk. Okay, that's exactly 100. Perfect. And about half a tablespoon of margarine. And we'll start putting it on and we'll warm it up so that we can get the margarine to melt nicely. And while that is going on,
Suze has a question. She says, "Is that the same as 100 grams of milk?"
Yes. Yes, it is 100 grams. What are you talking about, the margarine or the milk? Milk, yes, is 100 grams or 100 ml. It's the same pretty much. The margarine is half a tablespoon. Now I will measure 100 grams of flour. Okay. I will add a pinch of salt. It's just salt to the flour. Okay. And I prepare a bowl. Spoon. Okay, so I've got this to where I can prepare everything, and I also have a sieve, so I can add the flour slowly. And
Anjana has Wait a minute, it's just joining now. And Joanna's just joined the meeting room, so I have to quickly recap on the ingredients.
Good morning, Joanna. We just started, so you haven't, you still haven't missed much. What I've done so far, I put 100 ml, 100 grams of milk. I'm using oat milk, like this one. Put 100 ml in there, and half a tablespoon of margarine, and we're warming it up now to melt the margarine and bring and mix them well. And then the other thing I've done, I have weighed 100 grams of flour.
Two people into the. Well, she hasn't actually joined. She's trying to join. May have to do that again. No, she's having problems. Oh no, she's no. She's joined. She's joined. I don't know. And Jana, would you like to tell us whether you captured what Luca just said about the ingredients and what he's doing?
No, sorry, I missed it.
Sorry?
I missed all that. I just managed to join in. Sorry.
No, not at all.
It's okay, no worries. Actually, I'd rather you tell us, because I want everybody to follow what I'm doing. Okay, so what I've done so far, I'd say I just put a little bit of milk, which is about 100 ml of milk, and I'm using oat milk, but you can use soya milk, rice milk, as long as it's unsweetened, please.
Okay.
I put some milk and half a tablespoon of margarine, and now bringing it to temperature. Once it's well mixed together, like it will be in a second, and then add it in the bowl, and I'll add this flour little by little, and we'll that way we will create our dough.
So that brings you up to date, Anjana.
Okay,
Thank
so we
you.
just put the milk in there. If you don't mind, Anjana, if you don't mind muting yourself, and then just leave. I mean, if you want to ask any questions, please unmute yourself and ask them, or you can type in the chat if you prefer. Okay, so this is now nice and hot. So just check it. Actually, I'll warm it up a little bit more. Okay. Pour it in there. And now I will mix it, and mix it slowly. I'll use a sieve to help me out.
About Francesco and the heavenly cakes and the recipe.
Yes, we had Francesco, our son, is a university in Leeds, and yesterday he actually asked us for a recipe that Katerina used to prepare for him when he was younger, especially in junior school.
Shrove Tuesday,
which was like a pancakes with ice cream, sugar, and lemon, and he used to like them so much that he called them heavenly cakes rather than pancakes. So yesterday he actually asked for the recipe for these pancakes, these heavenly cakes, because he had some friends coming round, and he wanted to do it for them. So it's lovely. It's lovely to see how these things have passed down from generation to generation, and to see that now he's living on his own, obviously, but he's taking the passion for cooking with him. So So it's really good to see.
And he reprimanded somebody on their pasta, didn't he?
Yes, it's becoming well known because he's complaining when he sees other people cooking pasta, because it's not, obviously, as you well know, if you follow this class, you know that there's a way of preparing pasta or making sure that the salt is in the pasta before cooking, and it doesn't overcook, because pasta will become really horrible when it's overcooked. And he's always telling other people off when they're cooking, because they absolutely ruin it. And so by the time they finish with the pasta, it's so sticky and horrible that it's almost, for us at least, it would be pretty much unedible.
Yes, that's right, Catherine. It's that's why he was asking for the recipe, because of Shrove Tuesday. He wants to impress all his friends with the pancakes.
Okay, now that we got all the flour in there, it's just a matter of working it with our hands until all the flour has been absorbed, and we get a nice little bowl. Make sure I get all the flour on the sides.
Something therapeutic in doing that, isn't there?
Yes, it is. This is the first step. A bit sticky.
Is anybody cooking?
No, is anybody attempting to do this live with me? Be nice if you do. But if you don't, you can watch, and it's fine as well. Okay, so now we have a nice sticky.
Deborah's just watching.
Sticky ball of dough.
Deborah's watching. Obviously, getting up that early and preparing the ingredients is
Sure.
a massive task. Otherwise,
as you all know, Deborah is all the way from Texas, so there is about 6 o'clock in the morning. So
now
kudos to you for getting up at that time to watch this.
Okay, Sue says mine is a bit sticky. Should she add more flour?
It doesn't matter, because as at the moment it's still very, very warm. Then as he cools down, it will get harder. Mine is, as you can see, mine is sticky as well.
Okay, we've got some other comments then. I've got from owner to everyone. So I don't know who that is. I'm going to make it tomorrow. Missed a couple of ingredients. So who is the owner? Catherine's watching too, Carol's watching too, and Jana's watching, and Maria, bless you. You missed the ingredients. Do we need to go through it again, or does that mean you're missing them?
I can go through. I mean, if anybody has missed any steps so far, I can.
Oh, she's missing them.
Okay. She just doesn't have them. Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. As I said, I mean, the main things that you need is just like it's what I'm doing now. The filling, you can pretty much use whatever you have indoors. You can make your own filling. You need. I will give you a couple of ideas, but you can use your own recipe for the filling. You can even do them just with cheese. That's if you're a cheese lover. Okay, as you can see now, after I've been played about it for a couple of minutes, it's cooled down, and it's easier. As you can see, it's easier to manage. It's nice and soft. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll just get some cling film. I'll get some cling film and wrap it up, and this will be used a little bit later. Okay. So,
right, we have a message from Deborah. It says, Texas tundra right now, only 19 degrees Fahrenheit, -7. Monday it will be fine, -2, 28 degrees centigrade. All right.
Oh, wow.
We're due in for nice weather next week, about 10 degrees. So it's going to shoot up.
Okay, let me just wash my hands.
Oh, that's record low temperatures there in Texas. My goodness.
Oh, wow. We've beaten all records everywhere for all sorts of reasons. We've had, I think in the UK, I think we've had the lowest temperature for the last 25 years or so, which was -22 degrees Celsius, which is pretty cold, as you can imagine. Not here in London, where it's possibly it's gone to around -3 to -5, but up in the north of Scotland, it's gone really, really cold. Okay, so this is step 1 done, and so now we got our dough wrapped in cling film, and just put it on the side to cool down, and that will be used later. Now put this away. Now let's start preparing the fillings. Okay, so the one that will take maybe a little bit longer is the spinach. So where is the plate? More to the rest. Okay, so just a baby leaf spinach. I have just washed it, so I've done nothing to it. Doesn't matter if there is a little water in there. We just need to really cook them very, very quickly. So the actual water that's in there would be enough to make them wilt. So I'll just turn this on. Cover. And let them wilt for a couple of minutes while we get to prepare the other filling, the one with the sun-dried tomatoes. So this is what I'm using, a jar of sun-dried tomatoes.
My goodness. Sue Waring says, my brother in Oklahoma is expecting -24 tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is really cold as well, isn't
That
it?
is really cold. I mean, actually, temperature like that we only experienced once when we went to Finland for for Christmas. We took Francesca to see Father Christmas. It's in Lapland, and there I think we had about -30 something there, and just.
Do you remember?
Something else.
Do you remember those English people going out with their T-shirts to take photos in the snow?
Yes, and coming back blue pretty much after about 20 seconds. Especially the smokers. I don't think they could finish a whole cigarette. It's crazy. Totally crazy. Actually, I was shocked to see that the local people were wearing mostly cotton. Rather than wool and things warm and that, but they were wearing like many layers of cotton. So they must know something more than we do about those temperatures. Okay, so I got a jar of sun-dried tomatoes there, and I want to add about 10 grams of capers, which would be, say a couple of tablespoons like this.
Deborah says it's so cold and we are having ice on streets, 7 inches of snow expected on Monday. That is a lot of snow.
Wow.
A lot of snow.
Wow. Okay, so I got sun-dried tomatoes there and some capers. There's the oil from the jar, so I won't need to add any more. And if you want, you could also add a few nuts. That's completely down to you. Okay, so you don't need to if you don't have them. But I had last week. I bought some I bought some roasted hazelnuts, so
before you do that, sorry,
as
Sue's
well.
asking you how much weight is in the jar for the tomatoes.
Good question. This jar is, what is it? 290 grams, but possibly, Sue, this is going to be probably too much for the filling. But I'm doing a jar, so if your jar is smaller, it's fine anyway, because we're going to use this anyway for something else if there is any left. So I'm not too worried about quantities here. Okay, I'm going to put some chopped hazelnuts as well.
Hers is 350 grams.
It's fine as well. You can use it to later to give flavor to a pasta sauce or something. So this pretty much is almost like a red pesto. You know, if you want, you could even add a little bit of garlic. Okay, so where's the cutting blades? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to make noise now.
So make a little bit of noise. So put the blades on. And you want to really pulse it, and we don't want to just completely blend it into a cream. We want to just have it a little bit rough, a bit like pesto.
Catherine says she can't get jars of sun-dried tomatoes from Tesco's when she's ordering online.
No.
You got yours from Sainsbury's, didn't you?
I got mine from Sainsbury's. I'm sure that Tesco would have. I mean, sun-dried tomatoes are a pretty normal thing. You can, if you want to cheat, it's also, you can buy some sun-dried tomato paste or something like this.
Oh, they normally have them, she says. Obviously, they've run out.
Yeah, okay. You can buy some sun-dried tomato paste, or if you want to cheat and just having something that's ready, you can buy some red pesto already made and use that. And so I just want to make sure that this is. I'll just give it another 2 seconds. Okay. Let's
see.
Let's see. So you say you want to have something like this. Is quite like a thick paste, and I'll give it. Oh good. I could eat this like this in tablespoons, and there's a willing open mouth to receive tasting. What do you think, Katrina?
Lovely. Want to get that up.
Oh, at the drop. Okay. Okay, so the first filling is done. Let's have a look at the spinach. As you can see, the spinach now are wilted. That's pretty much what we've got to do. We don't need to do much to this spinach. So what I'll do now, I will add, and I want to toss them in the pan for a couple of minutes with some garlic. So I will add a clove of garlic to that. Turn this down because it doesn't really need to cook any longer. I put a couple of cloves of garlic in there. You don't need to cut them up either. I'll just leave them in one piece. Just give them a couple of cuts like this, just to let the flavor come out. But I'll leave it in one piece. Same with this. And I'll put a little bit of olive oil. It's literally about no more than 1 or 2 tablespoons.
There's a question from Sue, but I don't think you finished it. Was there any?
Can I get the sauce?
Yeah. Okay.
And also, I will add a pinch of salt. And if you like it, at this stage, you could also add some a little bit of chili or pepper. Well, just really a little bit of pepper, just like this, to give it a little bit of aroma. Okay, and it pretty much, they will be pretty much done in a minute or so. I want them to dry up, really, to just dry up all the water there is in the pan, and then the filling will be pretty much ready.
Sue, okay. Sue says, was there anything other than tomato and oil in the blender?
Yes, there were capers, about 2 tablespoons of capers. And obviously the capers are already very salty, so you don't need to add any salt to that. So it's just tomatoes, capers, and I added a little bit of I had some chopped hazelnuts that I threw in. If you want, you can have some. You can add a few almonds. You can add some pine nuts. Just for me, but it's not necessary.
And Jana's asking whether she can add chili.
What, to the spinach?
And to the blend that you did, the tomatoes and the capers. I think so. I think
yes,
that's what she's asking.
Yes,
anyway.
I mean, really, the filling, you can do pretty much whatever you like with the filling. But the only thing I would say, if you add in too much chili, is that because we add in cheese as well. So personally, I don't mix too much chili and cheese. But if you like it, feel free.
Yes, it was about the tomato. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather add, if you want to add some chili, I'd rather add them to the spinach than the tomatoes. And by the way, that recipe that I just showed you is pretty much, by adding a few more nuts to it, it's pretty much the recipe for red pesto. So you've learned another thing. So you can prepare that, but obviously before using it on pasta, you will need to loosen it up with some warm water. Normally, what I do in those cases, I loosen it up with some of the cooking water from the pasta while the pasta is cooking, so it becomes quite loose, because otherwise it becomes very heavy, very sticky and stodgy. But if you loosen it up with hot water, then it's nice and smooth, and it makes a really lovely sauce.
And that water's got the salt in it as well, so you don't have to worry about that either, do you? Okay,
so I'll just give it literally another minute, and then we are pretty much done with the fillings. The only thing I will need to do is just to slice some cheese, and then the fillings are ready to go in when we've done when we prepared the shapes to receive them. As you can see, from a whole pan of spinach, there's only a little bunch left. And when we use it for the filling, we don't use the garlic. Okay, so the garlic is just for flavoring. But then when we use the filling, we discard the garlic. You can eat it if you like it, or you can throw it away. But we don't include it in the Sofficini. Okay. That's the name. Oh, by the way, the name Sofficini means like little soft things. So soffice means which means soft. The same as we got another word for it, which is morbido, as well in Italian. So little. That's your little Italian nugget for today. Okay, there's very little now. Can you see the water?
Sorry, I was looking. Sorry, show me again.
There's very little water left now and there.
Catherine said something. Catherine says the soup you made last week is really delicious and filling. Yes, it is.
Oh, thank you very much, Catherine. Thank you very much. The ribollita is delicious. I love it. I actually some of the recipes call for adding a little bit of potatoes as well. I prefer it without, but in case you wanted to have it as a main meal, just have that. You can add maybe one potato in it as well. Makes it even thicker. Okay, taste it. Make sure adjust it. Always tasting, especially for the filling. To make sure that you got enough flavor in the spices for your taste. This I cannot tell you exactly how much it is because your taste buds will be different from mine. But for me, it's got to be a little salty. Okay. What do you think? Ready?
Yeah, it looks ready.
It looks just right. As you can see, all the water now has been evaporated pretty much. You don't want to make it too wet. You want to make it too wet, okay? So I just want to make sure this goes and turn it up for a little bit, so to make sure that this remaining water evaporates, and then we can let it cool down.
I'm always amazed at how much the spinach shrinks from the big bag into just a little handful of leaves, doesn't it, when you cook it?
And I need to give Katerina a little taste because she loves spinach.
Oh, thank you.
Nice?
That's lovely.
Okay, so that's it. I'll start putting the garlic aside so that I won't use it. And I'll spread my spinach out so just to make sure it evaporates properly. Okay. That's it. So the fillings are done. Now, can I have a little bit of room, please? Right. Let me just make sure, just check for the written to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Okay. Now, for the butter, we prepare some butter. Make some room. So again, let's bring the scales out again. For some reason, I managed to change this. I don't know how I've done it. Oh, unit maybe. Ah. Okay. I managed to switch it to imperial, which would have confused me no end. Okay, so what we do, we put 150 ml of water. Okay. And then with the flour. So I'll weigh the flour and then mix it with the whisk. And 50 grams of flour. and my whisker. Again, I'll do the usual thing as I did before.
She's oh right. Hillary's asking if it's 140 ml of water.
Yes, 150 ml of water and 50 grams of flour.
Oh, sorry. Maria's asking. I missed the message. Corn flour. How much? Corn flour.
No, this is not corn flour. This is normal flour, Maria. Okay.
I think is that the ingredients, Maria? When you were asking.
Yeah, the corn flour is for later. So I'll tell you when we use the corn flour. Okay.
Yes, it was for the ingredients, but yeah, Luke will tell you how much he's going to use when he uses it.
The corn flour is not going to be weighed, by the way. Just going to be mixed with the breadcrumbs. They're just for the coating. So what we'll do when we prepared our shapes and fill them, we're going to quickly dip them in the butter and then roll them in corn flour and breadcrumbs. Okay, so it's a very loose butter, as you can see. Make sure that you don't have any bits in there. It's all nice and smooth. Okay. The only other thing we need to add is half a tablespoon of turmeric powder. This. And a tiny pinch of salt. I'll combine this as well.
Sue's asking what the powder was.
Turmeric. So it's turmeric powder. Okay. So this is ready too. Okay, so now is the last step, which is to prepare the breadcrumbs and the coating, basically. So we can take this away.
Oh, Hilary says that she loves savoury pancakes.
Yes, I love them as well. Actually, even the French ones, you know, the crepes. I prefer them savoury than sweet. So I'll have some breadcrumbs in there. What I'll go here. And I've got two different types. I don't know. Let's mix them all. These are a bit different color. There you go. And I've got some of these. I've got some bits and pieces that are left from other recipes, so I want to use them up. These are they're all breadcrumbs, by the way. These are zesty lemon and cracked black pepper breadcrumbs. So we're going in there. And I'll mix the corn flour with it. So I've got a couple of good tablespoons of corn flour. Make sure that it's well mixed. Do the trick. Okay, so okay, so this is ready. Okay. And now I need to make a little bit of room in here to be able to prepare the shapes.
Hilary is asking how many tablespoons of breadcrumbs and corn flour did you use?
I put a couple of very abundant tablespoons of corn flour and just ready by eye. So just how I saw it, probably about, I would say, is about 50-50 breadcrumbs and corn flour. But it doesn't really matter as long as you got enough to coat. You might need to do a little bit more if you haven't got enough. So it doesn't really matter. It's not. This is not all going into the dish. Okay. So it's just used to coat the shapes once we prepare them. So it might even be too much what I've got there. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be a precise quantity. Okay. Now let me make room. Now, just try this. Now I'm going to use this surface to roll the dough. So this is where you need your rolling pin. Trust the rolling pin. So what I do first is just a bit of flour on the surface. Okay. Now we get the paste is now, I would have cooled. It feels a lot cooler than it was before. Okay, so let's break out. Start with half of it. Okay, and we start spreading it out. A bit like what you would do with a pizza, really. Always keep your flour at hand because you might need it. Okay, we're almost there. Oops. Okay, let's start cutting the first shapes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use bowl. And then cut a round shape. Okay, that's the first one ready. Make sure that do it again with these. Enough for a moment.
Hillary's asking if you use strong white flour.
I have, yes. I've used this very strong Canadian red flour. So it's a strong bread flour, really. Pretty much, this is another one ready. I mean, it's almost a perfect shape. So there's no point of cutting it. So we're going to do all the shapes first, and then we fill them up. Okay. Okay, so number two done. And then let's get this again. I'm going to do another one. I reuse all the bits and pieces, all the cuttings for left over.
Hi, Luca. How thick's the dough?
How thick?
Thick is the dough, yes.
Can you see?
Let's just show.
Very thin. Almost like a pizza. I mean, this is more like a...
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. At least like the pizzas that I make. I don't like the deep pan pizzas in Rome. There's two different styles, by the way. I don't know if you've been to Italy. There's the Roman style of pizza, and then there's the one that they do in Naples. In Naples, pizza is very, very doughy. Okay, so although it's soft, it's still lovely, delicious, but it's got a lot of bread to the pizza. Where in Rome, it's really, really thin, and it's more about the ingredients, the topping, than the pizza itself. The pizza is almost like a vehicle for the toppings. Okay, so I've grown up obviously in Rome, and I'm used to the really, really thin style of pizza rather than the higher ones, Napolitan style. And there are a few restaurants in Rome where they do the Napolitan style of pizza, but not very many. Most pizzerias use this very, very thin pizza bases. Okay, so this is number three already. If it's too spongy, your dough, then make sure that you add a little bit more flour because otherwise it will just keep retracting and getting smaller. Okay, that's number 3. Look at that, beautiful. Yeah, can you see the shape? We'll just do the last one, maybe 2. Depending how thin you make them, it's you get between 4 and 6 these pancakes with that quantity, quantity of dough. Okay. Well, it's quite. I love this bit actually. I love rolling them. It's kind of like it's like when you play as children. We had a pizza restaurant nearby where we used to take Francesco when he was younger, and you know, like young children can be very, very demanding. What they did in this restaurant, they gave them a little ball of dough, and so they could play with this dough until the food was ready, so the parents could actually have a proper conversation for once. And in the end, actually, once they had play with this dough and had done their shape, they would bake it for them and they would take it home. So I remember we had some really nice baked dinosaurs at the time, or other shapes, other indistinguishable shapes that Francesco decided to create. And it was lovely. It was lovely to have this memory.
Hilary's asking which flour is in the butter.
It's the same. I put the same flour. You know, I'm not that. Oh, sorry. In
the batter.
Yes, the same flour I use. So it's the same bread flour. Not too fussy about the flour for the batter. It's just really to stick together and to make it absorb the bread and corn flour. So, oh, this is sticking a bit. Okay, and there, the last one. Okay. Finish with this.
Do a baby one.
Yeah, Katrina was saying I could do a baby one. Maybe. Could do like a raviolo. Raviolo, by the way, is a single one, and ravioli is plural. Okay, so just in case you wondered. Okay, so we got a shape now. So what we're going to do, we're going to put our filling into about half shape, and then we're going to bring them over and close them. Okay, so let's do the first one with the red. It's almost like a red pesto, as I said. Okay. I just need to add the cheese. cut the cheese quite thinly, otherwise it will melt. You can use you can use sliced cheese if you want. It's fine. The one I'm using, I don't know if I showed you before. This is the one I'm using. I quite like this brand, Violife. My two favorite brands are the Violife or She's. You might find that in some supermarkets, not everyone. And I find this one in particular, I use in my toasted sandwiches normally because it melts quite well. Okay. Now we go and close the parcel. Up. A little bit like a Cornish pasty.
It does look like a mini Cornish pasty, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Okay.
There we go.
So I'll do this and just twist them on my plate. Number 2. With this one, I'm going to use the spinach. As you can see now, all the water has absorbed that it's quite dry. I'm going to be careful not to go mad with this because otherwise I won't be able to close it. Okay. And again, as usual, I'll slice some cheese. It's going to be a bit too thick. Okay, number 3. We go and close this as well. Okay, it's parcel number 2. Oops. Maybe I want to make sure it's closed. Press it together to make sure that it doesn't fall apart when we start cooking. This one is actually a little bit thicker than the others. Let me spread it out a little bit more. And what I do with this one, because I like experimenting and doing different things, so I'm going to mix together the 2 fillings. So I'm going to have a bit of spinach, not as much as in the other one. Whoops. Then I'm going to add a bit of, as you can see, I've got lots here. So I've got a lot of this that was going to be left over, but it's not going to go to waste. Don't worry about that. This makes a lovely pasta dish.
Okay, and Jana has a question. You read my mind. Was going to ask if we can mix them. So
yeah, as I say, you can experiment with your own fillings as well. This is one of those things. They really are lovely little parcels. And another way you could do a mushroom filling as well. Is another one of my favorites. Mushroom and cheese, mushroom, parsley, garlic, and then a little bit of cheese on top. Is absolutely lovely. Okay, let me see if I can do this without crimping them up. Not quite.
A fork helps sometimes.
Fork?
Yeah, my mum used to do it like that.
Okay, maybe you want to show me.
Just squash it down.
or just squash them?
Squash. No, the other way. So it's this way. So. That way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite.
Not as good, eh? Is it?
It's not quite wet enough. The
Okay.
thing. I think I'm just worried that
Might
it's
come
going
apart.
to come apart when I turn them around.
Mm.
It's a good idea. Thank you very much for the tip. I'm always open to. I mean, my cooking is all about taste. Okay, so if you can do things and you got better way of doing it than I am, please feel free to suggest it, because I am not the best technician in the world. But the one thing I do is I always cook things that are really, really tasty.
It's 100%.
Well, yeah, if you can say that.
We used to leave Luca in the kitchen sometimes, and Maria says that she agrees as well. And you'd come in and it looked like a bomb's hit. But you'd ignore that, because the food that came out was absolutely amazing. You've always got that special touch. Because that's what you concentrate on, isn't it? Just the rest doesn't matter, which is the important thing.
So, Katerina, your choice. What's the last one? What's the feeling on the last one?
I would like to have just spinach on its own, actually.
Spinach without cheese?
Yeah, without cheese.
Okay, yeah, that's another possibility. It's going to be a little bit dry.
Okay.
But
well, you might want to put a bit of tomato with it, then. Just a little bit. But
I'm going to do.
Just love spinach.
Yeah. Yes, you can clean the pan then. Do you want me to put a little bit of this in or not?
Yeah, just a little bit. It's going to be dry.
Okay, so this is for Katerina. It's Katerina's pancake.
That's enough.
Okay. Okay, so we're going ahead and closing this one as well. Let's use the technique. There's a lot of things that are doing it that way.
It's a lot what?
There is a lot of order.
Okay. That's how she used to make the Cornish pasty. So that's why they're always like that on the edges.
Possibly, but the only difference is that the Cornish pasty were done in the oven.
Yeah.
Where we're going to put these in the pan.
Yeah.
So
what are you going to do with that little one?
Little one, I don't know. We can think about it later. What do you want to do? Like a mini taster? We can do. Okay, let's do a trial as we between friends. Yeah, we can do. We can do a mini one, almost like ravioli. Okay, let's do this. I don't know how much.
You can imagine lots of little those on plates. You know, when you have people round, so like little tasters and.
Yeah, a little starter. That's quite a good idea actually. Yeah. Let's see if possible. I've never done this actually, this small, but let's see what it's like. On this.
Don't want to waste it, do we?
That's true. There's nothing goes to waste in this house. And I will see if I can get the ingredients to do the ribollita. Might do a video for you, because I don't know what happened last week, but when I went to get the video, it just wasn't there. So I think I might have forgotten to tick the right box. So it wasn't recorded.
Yeah, we have some reminiscing that we've all forgotten what it's like to have friends around in the house, and Maria's agreeing as well with Catherine, who said that.
Yeah, that would be nice. Actually, I'm feeling myself. Oh, I would love to have a little dinner party, you know, just with a handful of friends. Okay, let's try this then. This one, instead, I'm going to do with the red filling. By the way, the red filling is just lovely. And just put some little tiny bits of cheese. Here we are, a mini pasty. There we are. Okay. So now we got all this done.
Oh.
This is for later. Let me just.
Deirdre says she'd love to join us for a dinner party.
Okay, yeah, it would be quite nice. Okay. Yeah, I just washed my hands full of flour. Okay. And I'm going to use, as I'm going to put them in the pan, I'm just going to do it with some vegetable oil rather than olive oil. I'm using rapeseed oil. So again, just enough oil abundant oil to cover the pan. It doesn't need to be like deep fried, but has to be pan fried. But it's got to be, more than just a couple of tablespoons. So I'll put quite a bit. As you can see, there's quite a bit of oil in there. Okay. Now we let it come to temperature. Once it's nice and hot, we'll put them in and make sure they cook them about a few minutes on each side, and then we get to the interesting part, which is the tasting. So I'm really looking forward to this. I haven't cooked these for ages, so I'm really interested to see how they come out. In the meantime, as I have made quite a mess, I will proceed with a little bit of surface cleaning. This is my favorite part, the cooking. The least favorite part is what I have to do after, which is like to clear everything up, which is not fun, but this is fun. Okay. So I'll start with the first one. Okay, so we will. What can I use? I don't get my hands completely covered in muck. So I will.
Look at those gripper things.
That doesn't matter. I think I will make a mess anyway. So they are covered in breadcrumbs. Okay. Number one. I'll put a couple in. So we just dip them in the butter first, and then make sure that they absorb all the lovely breadcrumbs. As I said, with the breadcrumbs and corn flour, you may need to add a little bit more if you run out. Okay, so I'll do the first couple. Let's turn the heat down a little bit.
Is the oil quite hot, Sue's asking?
It is, yes.
It's very hot.
Okay. while those are doing, I carry on with the other two. I'll do this mini one as well, so we can see what it's like. This little one actually we could do in like you cook pasta. It could be like a Chinese record.
Oh, the doughs, the dough ball things.
You know, the little parcels. The little parcels.
Oh, yeah, pancake rolls. No, you're talking about.
I'm talking about the steamed. It doesn't. Sorry, it's not coming.
Okay.
The little steamed parcels that you.
Yeah, it's not coming to me either. So.
Okay, and while those are doing, I will prepare the other two as well. Might need a few more breadcrumbs.
With the breadcrumbs?
Don't worry, I'll get them. And I will ask you a favor. Actually, would you mind getting me some a little bit of corn flour? As you can see, you might need to add some more of these if you.
It's like half a spoon or spoon.
Yeah, just half a spoon will be enough. So we're up together. Okay. So now I can wash my hands at last.
Sue's asking how long do you fry them for?
Probably about 3 or 4 minutes on either side. Yeah. We'll be ready to be turned now.
$17 is a lot.
Sorry?
17 of these.
17 of those is a lot, yes.
Yes.
Can I get the plate? You can imagine, when you eat, you got something normal in your stomach that tells you when you've had enough. Funny enough, when it's something that you like, it seems to work a little bit later, take a little bit longer to shut down.
Like that cake that you ate with your dad, with the cream and.
Oh, that was sickly. That was sickly. It was like my grandmother had prepared this lovely apple. It was almost like a Madeira cake. Filled with apples, and what we did, because obviously that wasn't enough for us, we had a liter of whipping cream, and we had a jar of apple jam. So what we did, we sliced we sliced this cake, and we will actually put a layer of jam and a layer of whipped cream on top, and then we managed to consume the whole cake, which was about this size, this high, after dinner. My dad and I on our own, just little by little, watching a movie. You know, slowly, it got completely consumed. But it was, yeah, the day after we felt a little bit heavy, but it was lovely when we had it. Now, the other thing you want to do is that when you want to have some absorbent paper to absorb the extra oil. And I'll get another plate for dishing out. Okay, ready for the first delivery. Okay, so make sure they get absorbed nicely. Okay, I'll turn this down because a little bit overheating. So another drop of oil. Okay, in the meantime, what we do, just turn again, so that all the oil on the other side is absorbed as well. And this is the little taster, baby. There we are, nice triangle in there. And while I put the other two to cook as well. And one thing you want to be a little bit careful is that those are absolutely piping hot. Okay, just come out of the fryer. So you want to let them rest for about a minute before consuming. Quickly. Okay. So do you have a phone, Hannah, because you want to take a picture?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now just before, my stomach is grumbling, obviously because he has now seen what's coming. Okay. And now we can proceed. Tasting session. I'm not quite sure what which one we cooked. I would soon find out. That's a spinach one, Katerina. Favorite. So this is the one that was, as I said, drier because, as you can see, you got the spinach were quite dry. Let me get Katerina to.
Oh, thank you.
To have the first taste, that she loves. She loves the spinach.
Mm.
What do you think?
Mm. Mm. Oh, it's lovely. Mm. Nice and crunchy on the outside and nice and soft in the middle. Delicious, absolutely delicious.
We won't make you too hungry, so we want to eat it all in front of you. Yeah.
Yes, we
Couple
will.
of bits. I didn't say yes.
I'm only joking. Only joking. Feed me. Mm.
Let's try the baby. Let's try the baby. This is the one with oh, you can see the red filling. This time I'll taste it first. It's really nice. Really nice. This is a bit creamier than the spinach one. You can see.
Hilary says it looks yummy.
It is, Hilary.
Really nice. Thank you.
And I'll keep feeding Katerina.
Mm. That's nice too.
While we doing that, let me turn the other ones. So now I have to open
So Sue is
this
saying
one.
she only made the tomato ones as didn't have spinach. First one's out and cooling now. Great. I'd like to know
Excellent.
how they've come out.
This one, we have two spinach on them. Well, one was mixed. Ah, this is the mixed one. Let's open it up to have a look. Yes, this one, as you can see,
It's mixed.
it's got some spinach and some of the red filling as well. Dried tomato, some dried tomato.
The actual, sorry.
We see what Katerina thinks of this one.
Yeah. Mm. Mm. I can't even say that I've got a favourite one. They're all nice.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Mm.
I must say I prefer the spinach one to the mixed one, probably.
Oh, I like them all.
Yeah, they're all nice. Mm. You want to make sure there's not when you roll the dough, you don't make it too thick, because otherwise it would be a bit doughy when it comes out of the pan. Okay, so I'll give this one another minute. Yeah, sorry, I can't stop eating this.
Oh, sorry, I'm not paying attention.
There you are.
Okay, thank you.
It's very quickly going. It's very quickly going with this. But well, excuse me.
Oh. Sue says she thinks that hers were thinner, but only one is cracked on the top, so that's good.
Excellent.
Have you tasted them yet, Sue?
Mm.
Give me a bit of the spinach one.
The spinach one, that's really lovely. Thanks, Katerina.
Thank you.
It's just like feeding a baby bird. You can see this this mouth it opens.
Sue say hers are still a bit hot. I think the cheese needs to cool down a bit. So.
So yeah, definitely you want to give it a minute, because it's just too hot otherwise. Mm. Okay, these are the last ones. Again, let the paper absorb.
Oops.
Okay.
Yep.
So now once all the oil is absorbed, is a lot easier as well, because it's not as hot. Ready to plate up the last ones as well. Voila. Okay. Let's see if we can do like then a shot with these open.
Oh, there we go. Sue has tasted them and she says they're delicious, lovely combination of crunchy and creamy. Brilliant. They've turned out really well by the sounds of it.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Okay, let's see these two. Okay, let's have them ready. Oops, there's a hair in there. Shouldn't be there. Okay, so I'll just take another photo of these, and then in the meantime, are there any questions? Because I know that there were quite a few parts in these things. Camera.
Yeah, we have got some questions. Catherine says, do you do home deliveries? and Jana says, can you add feta cheese?
I wouldn't use feta with these simply because it doesn't melt. Plus, I find, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it's your feeling. You try if you want. But for me, it's the flavor will be a little bit too strong.
Hilary likes the sound of the mushrooms filling.
This is just the red one. I don't know if you tried this. This is lovely, very, very rich. Very nice, very rich. Careful because it's still hot.
That's okay. I like hot. Thank you.
And this is another one of the mixed variety. So let's try this. I must say, having tried them, all of them, I do prefer the ones on their own rather than when they're mixed. The flavors don't quite combine that well together. It's still lovely, but I prefer the ones on their own. So the one, just the red one, or the one with the spinach. But they both are funny enough. Although the spinach one is drier, though the spinach themselves are quite creamy. So it's the whole effect is similar, although it's drier to look at. But when you eat it, it's really lovely and creamy as well. So, any questions? Anybody has any plans for tomorrow for Valentine's Day? Maybe you can prepare these and just do a nice heart on the top. That would be a nice Valentine Day's meal. Or you could do, I suppose, instead of doing it with a heart, you can do it in a round shape. You could do them in a heart shape.
Oh, Deborah's saying they look really good.
They are. I must say they are, and I find it very difficult to stop myself from demolishing them all in front of you. I'll have another bite.
My husband is having his vaccine tomorrow. Oh, that's Catherine.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, brilliant. Oops, what's happened? I can't get the screen up. Yes, I think we must probably have ours April, May.
I don't know. I mean, it's obviously we're not there yet.
That's what they're saying.
That was supposed to be the next couple of batches.
Yeah, after the 70s, it's
couple
us.
Of batches. So
yeah.
I'm really hoping that this is going to have the desired effect, and we can go back to a kind of a semi-normal life soon. Because I think everybody's suffering from isolation, and I must admit myself, I felt the effects of it myself, and I'm still going out for work. So I know for somebody that's closing doors and not being able to go anywhere, it's very hard at the moment.
Okay, she says that, yeah, we should be getting ours soon. Her husband is above 65, so yes, we should be after that maybe.
We're not that far behind, so we'll be there. We'll be there soon as well. And we have been convinced from our son, actually, by our son, that we should have it. So we will have our vaccine when it's our turn.
Yeah, no questions, but it was really nice to see. And Jan and Devrika came back as well, so it was
excellent.
lovely.
So I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, I would put it on straight away this afternoon on the YouTube channel and Genius Sue, and tomorrow write down the recipe for you as well. So the recipe will be on Genius Sue as well. So please, if you go and have a look at the video itself, please like the video and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. And if you go on Genius Sue, please take a couple of minutes to leave me a review. That would be fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
So one more. Deborah says the second one had more side effects. The injection.
Oh,
really? What happened there?
The second jab?
Yeah. Carol said she had hers already, no problem, but we're just having one at the moment, aren't we? And Jana said she really enjoyed your cooking. It was delicious. We'll definitely try it.
Oh,
That's
thank you very much,
nice.
Jana. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, really. And this is, as I said before, this is my time in the week when I'm completely relaxed and enjoying myself. So the fact that you're coming every week, it just spurs me to do this and to have a good time for a couple of hours and not thinking of anything else. So
yeah,
it's my mental health item of the week.
Deborah says temperature of 100 degrees and there were body aches as well. My goodness.
Oh, wow.
That's quite, yeah.
I suppose it depends. There are several vaccines now around, so I'm not quite sure which ones. But I don't know. Hopefully.
She's got the second one on Thursday. Oh, okay. Well, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. And and hopefully we'll
got
be...
Modena.
Yeah, Modena, yeah, so it's the one with two. Like Katrina's dad had his 2 jabs as well.
No, he's had just one.
Oh, just one.
He was supposed to have one 3 weeks after, but then they delayed it.
Okay.
At least they know it's working, Sue's saying. So that's a positive way to look at it. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you again next week. I'll possibly tomorrow I will also work out what I'm doing next week and publish it. Okay, so see you soon.
Deborah says thank you so much. Sue says thank you. See you next week. And Hilary says thank you. I'm waving actually here in the background. Maria says thank you.
Okay, I'll do the mirror, Katerina.
Okay.
Okay.
So
thank you
I'm
very
going to
much.
close
Goodbye.
now. Goodbye.